Okay, let's open the public hearing. This is for Don Smith requesting a tool shed and hunting equipment storage at 6046 Main Road. I've reached out to Mr. Smith and have not spoken to him since our last meeting. If anybody's got any questions, I will try to answer whatever questions you got, but we have not talked to Mr. Smith. Code enforcement officer tried to get a hold of him, I've tried to get a hold of him. Don't know.
I'd say at this point, because this was on the agenda for last month too, correct?
That was, yeah, and then we scheduled a public hearing for tonight.
Okay, so it's 2 meetings, he hasn't shown up at 2 meetings, we've had no communication.
Right.
I'd say at this point we deny the application and move on.
Somebody want to second that?
I'll second that.
Shouldn't we, I think we should do, I
Uh,
think we should hear it and do the 5 questions.
We can.
Well, yeah,
we need
well,
to-
I think the denial,
Comes first.
and then we go through the questions and say why we're denying.
Right.
Okay.
I could-
Second, I'm sorry. You made the motion.
Hang on
I
2 seconds.
Because the way this is laid out, the vote's at the end.
Correct. Well, yeah, I was just suggesting that we make the, either we would move to deny the application, we can go, I can go through the reasons why, if that would be helpful.
For the
Yeah.
people that are here in regards to this, the reason it needed a public hearing is because in the town of Stafford, you cannot build a secondary structure without a primary structure. So you can't build a shed, a barn, without having a house on that property. Mr. Smith sold the house that he had, kept a lot next to the house. Wanted to be able to put a shed on that property with no intent to ever put a house on it. He wasn't looking at putting a house at any point in time. I guess that's what Don Mullen told me. I did not speak to Mr. Smith. I have not spoken to him.
But you have reached out a couple times.
I've reached out, left messages. I've left messages twice. Don left messages 3 times, and we've not heard anything back from him, so.
Does the original have this filled in? 'Cause
No.
Yes,
they-
well, my copy does.
Yours does?
I'm sorry, wrong.
No, wrong
Wrong
one.
one. No, you're-
We really need this
I
filled
know,
in
and
before we get these things.
Gene and I talked about that.
Okay.
Don and I talked about it, but
Okay.
obviously that's,
Well, no, that, Krista, that, what's on here should work its way into the notice too. Because
Yeah.
that's
Right.
what's being asked for.
And the person doing the notice shouldn't have to look this info up. They should just pull it off here. So, because it says requirement for which variance is requested, and now I need to look it up. What article is that? That's not the right application.
no, I know, but it's the same thing.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay.
182, section 12.
You want me to start the questions then, or
Yep.
finish the vote?
No, go ahead, start the questions.
Whether undesirable change would be produced in the character of the neighborhood or a detriment to nearby properties. I say that,
Yes.
yes, it has the potential,
Mhm. That's what we're trying to prevent.
because it's gonna be unmonitored
Well, yeah, I mean,
and it's not a use that we permit.
Yeah, I'd just say has the potential to create an undesirable change in the neighborhood character in nearby properties. And again, this is all reasons for denying.
Right.
Gene, have you taken over, have you grabbed all of Don's stuff now?
I guess.
Okay. Well, my point is that who do I give all this stuff to now? Do I give it
Let's
to?
bring it back to me.
Okay. Okay.
Anybody else wanna contribute to that? Okay. Number 2, whether benefits sought by applicant can be achieved by a feasible alternative to variance.
I'd say, yes, there are other reasonable alternatives such as
Pulling a permit.
Storage facility.
storage facilities.
Was number 3, whether the requested variance is substantial? Yes, it's
Absolutely.
completely
Yeah.
out of permitted uses. Without a residence in this zone. If it was commercial, it'd be different. Number 4, would the variance have an adverse impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood?
Could,
Potentially, yeah.
yeah, potentially.
Number 5, whether the alleged difficulty was self-created? Absolutely.
Maybe as a footnote, Krista, I think we ought to work this in there just because it is a denial that, kind of going back to what I mentioned a couple minutes ago, is that not only has the town made attempts to contact the applicant, but the ZBOA chair did as well. And the applicant has provided no return communication and has not been present at either of the 2 hearings.
I think I can put it on the back. Applicant
On your explanation.
was unable to give us further explanation to sway our decision the other way. And I'm putting on the whether the alleged difficulty was self-created. Applicant recently,
He did a land separation.
what's the word for land separation?
Subdivided.
Okay.
Land separation.
When was the land separation, Mike?
What's that?
When was the land separation?
Had to been at the time that he sold the house.
So,
3 months, maybe 4 months.
Yeah, he would have done the land separation prior to
Yeah,
selling the
right.
house.
so he could have put a shed on there before he land separated.
Could have, but then the problem you run into is that
The
having,
land separation would have to come to us.
well, and then you're right back in the same thing, having a piece of property with a barn on it and nothing else. That would still need a variance.
It would have already been done, though, am I right?
Even if it was done, and then he separated the land with the barn on it, he would still need a variance.
The barn being on it after the separation, and you had 2 parcels, and you had, oh, wait a minute. He didn't have a barn there on the parcel before he
Prior.
separated.
Prior.
Okay, you're right then. I was gonna say pre-existing non-conforming.
No.
Doesn't apply.
No.
So,
No.
you're absolutely
I am
right.
understanding it correctly, it was one piece until recently.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
I disagree with that. I don't have any proof, but his property abuts mine. And there's been a stake there for years and years and years that I know. We've been there 53 years as of this October. I always thought there were 2 separate pieces of property. This
Oh.
was in his name.
Could
Would
very
the
well
county
be.
have that?
What's that?
Would that show in the county
Yes.
records or tax records?
Yeah, they would show that.
Real property would have
Our
that.
assessor would have that.
Yeah.
But either way, it still doesn't make any difference. Even if it was in his name before, he's still trying to put a barn on a piece of property, you know, a secondary structure before the primary.
Right. But what I'm saying is I don't think that it was just separated recently when Murray bought the house.
I have no idea.
I mean, the way it was conveyed to us last meeting, that it was recently
Right.
subdivided.
And that's part of the problem. I mean, the last meeting, we all had questions, some of that being the questions, and there was nobody to ask. Thought maybe we'd have somebody to ask this week, but no.
Who was the other person that tried to contact him?
Don Mullen.
And Don's title is?
Was.
Zoning.
It was.
Zoning zoning?
Yes.
Zoning,
So,
zoning officer.
Okay, so the ZBA, after taking into consideration the 5 factors from page 1, finds that the benefit to the applicant does not outweigh the detriment to the neighborhood or community, and therefore the variance is denied.
Correct.
And I put reasons: applicant did not answer a return call from ZBA Chair or Don Mullen, CEO, to provide further information to support his application. And there's no conditions because we didn't approve anything. So the vote. Krajewski. You want to finish the vote then?
Yeah. Tim? Vote.
You made a motion to.
Yes, so my motion is to deny based on the answers that we provided to the criteria, notwithstanding the applicant's inability to show up at either meeting or communicate to the building department or the ZBO chair.
Second to that?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Can I ask a question after
Sure.
the fact?
That's fine.
Can he reapply? Just asking the question.
I'll see why I wrote that.
It's significantly different
Right.
I don't think we
application.
have any rules
No.
against filling out an application and
Exactly.
turning in
Yeah,
$75.
He can come back and,
Go a different way if you want.
yeah, make a justification of, why he wants to do it.
The second question is, when he originally filed all this, did he indicate the size of this building, where it's gonna be located?
10 by 14.
Yep,
Yeah,
10 by 14?
yes.
it was back in the, if you're facing the property, back in the left-hand corner, kind of middle, but to the left-hand corner.
Yeah, it looks like it's,
Facing the property from Route 5?
Yes.
So it's near the Clip Neck Road?
yes, it looks like it's, this is only showing, which is another question, he's only 15 feet off of the road, off of Clip Neck Road. 125 feet off of the main road.
And the setbacks, what is the backyard
30.
setback? So,
I mean, so it's, even the setback would need a variance, so.
And my understanding is if an application gets denied, that someone can reapply, but it has to be substantially different. And I guess substantially is kind of like, define that, but he's just gonna come back and say, well, I want a smaller one in the same spot, that's not significantly different to me.
You can appeal the decision with an Article 78 within 30 days of your decision.
Right, if he wants to go that route. I mean, if he came back in 6 months and said, I wanna put up a shed, but I'm gonna build a house in a year, which we've done. We've allowed 3 other people in Stafford in the last couple of years to build sheds or barns on the property with the understanding we gave them 18 months to pull an application to build a house. And to date, they've all honored exactly what, and we've told them up front, 18 months comes and goes, and you haven't built it, the shed or barn comes down.
It sounds like this wasn't his intention though.
No, he said he told Don, because Don, I was on the phone with Don when Don was on the phone with him, and he said he has no intention to ever building a house. It was just
Right.
something to store. Don explained to him that he didn't think it was gonna fly without, intent to build a primary structure, and he said it was still worth trying to go through, so.
Well, I'm under the impression he's a resident of Arizona.
Correct, he is.
He used to come back and stay there when his brother was alive, just to
Right.
visit, but
Well, my understanding, the house was his. He sold the house. His brother lived in the house, but
Is
the
it
house was his.
Smitty's brother?
Yes.
yes.
Oh,
And the sister's been long gone too.
I have
that's
no
been
idea.
gone a while,
Yeah.
yeah.
I just know that,
I didn't know Smitty lived there.
all I know is that he lives in Arizona. That I know. and doesn't return his voicemails. I know that too.
Such a great man.
Okay,
Thank
Huh?
you.
can I get a
Really?
motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second,
Aye.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we'll open up the regular scheduled meeting. Let's see. Is that?
7:50.
The only thing we have on our agenda tonight is Anthony Cali, looking to build a primary structure, or a secondary structure off the primary structure. He wants to do this at 8642 Prohl Road. I'm assuming that's me? Okay. There's a couple things that are missing. We have no,
Mr. Cali was supposed to bring all the pertinent data diagrams,
Okay.
however, when he came to the meeting tonight,
okay,
this was the last minute, we had about 10 minutes to get it submitted, so it would be on your agenda tonight.
okay. So you got everything there?
So this
He's
is
got stuff.
like my drawing. This is the survey, a photo of the survey, but this is the actual survey map. It's bigger so you can see it. Now, I don't know if this will work because I probably am not gonna build this house for 2 years at the late end. Sooner, hopefully, but it could be as much as 2 years. So if it doesn't work, I understand. But the plan is to put a house right there, about 300 feet off the road. The driveway's already in, gave the post like that this spring. That's where the septic will go, and I passed the perk test. This is where the electric and water lines and maybe a geothermal line, I think are gonna all go in that trench. But the shed will go right there, next to this little turnaround loop, which is about 200 feet off the road.
And the shed's gonna be what?
It's, well, I haven't picked one yet, but I was thinking of getting one of those Amish made ones, and I went and I got a, you know, like quote done for me. I don't know if I'll pick this exact one, but I mean, you guys can have some input. It's like a little porch in the front. It's 12 by 26 total. It's got a double 6-foot door here, so you can park a lawnmower in there. And yeah, the plan was to just keep all my tools in there and start working on making a yard in the front. A lot of it's just kind of, there aren't very many, a whole lot of trees right here. Picture kind of looks like there is, but yeah, so this will be kind of a yard, and yeah, just start chipping away. I've been kind of clearing where the house is gonna go. So yeah.
Gene, refresh my memory. If he pulls a building permit for the house, how long is that typically valid for?
A year. And is entitled to one extension,
And that extension is for,
6 months.
okay.
He's in the ballpark.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, at 24 months,
Then after
if the
that,
permit's pulled at 18. That's, and when we say you have to pull a permit, that doesn't mean that the structure has to be completed in 18 months.
Okay.
It means that you have to come in and get a permit in 18 months.
Okay. Yeah,
once
that's.
the 6
sounds
months
great.
expires on the extension, then you have to get a new permit, complete diagrams. and-
Okay.
It just shows good intention.
Right.
Understood.
Yes.
Yeah, I have the house plans drawn, just got those from Matthew. And the hope was to build this spring, but then it's looking at money. So it would be more like 2 years. As Gene said, you just need a big bag of money.
How
So,
exciting though.
Oh, yeah, yeah, it really is. We're
Good
just
for you.
keep chipping away. So,
I'm glad you came in here with the expectation to build a house, because if not.
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Discussion.
You would've lucked out.
Which I understand, the rules are rules, so, you know, if it's gotta be a certain way, it's fine.
Oh, that's
I'll
awesome.
play by the rules.
And how many acres is
So,
this?
it's 20. Yeah. Right across from Margaret,
I see that.
Time C's right there, yep.
I don't think I'm familiar with that.
Ned Atwater owned the property.
Well, is it near the old railroad?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's right on the curb
Yeah.
across from the old Malte? Is that the old
Yes,
Malte
it's-
farm?
Oh, okay.
Right on the curb?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then it
Beautiful
drops
out there.
down. It drops down,
It really
right?
is. Yes, it does.
Okay, I think I've seen the driveway.
Mhm.
It's one of my favorite roads out there.
Someday,
Better be now.
someday
Yeah,
there'll
sure.
be, someday
My
this,
favorite place on earth.
maybe this will connect to the Ellicott Trail someday.
Well, so yeah, this
Stafford
side
didn't
was
want
owned
it.
by the Zen Center. He was telling me about.
The who?
The Zen Center?
Oh, okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I thought that was
That's
pretty
why it
interesting, too.
says Zen
And
Center.
then they had access to, I guess the idea was they'd have access to both roads, Seven Springs and Kroll, if they wanted it for some reason.
I would think they would be
So.
nice neighbors.
Quiet.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah.
And just to reiterate what was mentioned in the last application, I mean, if something happens,
Yes.
you have to sell the property, you can't build, you understand that that structure will have to be.
And that wouldn't be, when I heard you guys explain that, I thought that's not too big a deal, because I gotta pay someone to bring the shed in, I just pay someone to pull it back out if I have to, so.
It's a little bit easier with a shed like that versus a modern building or a pole barn.
Sure, I mean, something that's permanent, right.
Yeah, no, it comes on like skids, so you can
Move it.
move it around. Yeah.
Okay.
Is there enough stuff here?
Yeah, do we just,
You can keep this if you want.
Okay.
Is it okay
We
if
just
I
like to get copies.
Is it okay if I keep this one?
yep. We don't
So
need that.
you can have those.
Okay.
So it's over 300 feet off the road.
It'll be about 200 feet back, the shed itself. The house will be about 300 feet.
Okay. Copies of that for everybody before the next meeting. Can I get a motion for a public hearing in our next meeting?
I'll make that motion for Mr. Cali for a public meeting regarding the property on Pearl Road.
Second?
No second.
All in favor?
Aye. Do the 19th,
August
Is it?
19th.
August 19th.
Huh, so depressing.
And it's over.
Oh my gosh.
Shit. You must have just planned on getting it notice and everything else, so.
Not.
Okay.
Boy, you're gonna be late for dinner a lot next year.
It's okay.
Sure, it goes way back.
Hopefully, Walt will be feeling better. Okay. Leslie, got anything?
No, I'm trying to be good.
You're gonna
Keep
go
my
out.
mouth shut.
Tim?
I just asked Mr., is it Cali?
Yep, that's right.
Is there any reason you wouldn't be able to make the August 19th meeting? Public
Yep,
hearing?
I should be able to be there. Is it at 7 o'clock again?
Yeah.
I just want to make sure.
We'll schedule it.
See what happens if you don't show up, right?
We'll schedule it first thing.
So, so I should be on August 19th at 7.
Yeah.
Just write this down for myself. And then, is there anything I need to do or bring to that meeting?
No, you've given us
Just bring your map again.
Oh, the.
Yeah, just kind of make you reiterate what you said in case somebody does show up for the hearing.
Sure. And then, don't put anything out there until after August 19th.
Correct.
Okay, very good. Got it. And anything more for me?
No.
I guess you're 30 more days to save money.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, the shed's the cheaper part.
Yeah. And at the price of lumber, good
Yeah.
luck.
Yes.
But I guess it's all relative.
That's right, a little time.
Yeah.
Take your time. Well, all set then?
Yep.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Krista?
See you longer.
No?
Yeah, sounds good.
Rob? Nothing. Okay. Can I get a motion to close the meeting?
So moved.
Oh, I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks.